Hello, everyone. We're so glad that you are here. And we are still talking about purposeful living, creating a life of longevity and vitality. And today we are going to be talking about nutrition and why it's important. And, we hear about it all the time. And I'm sure that you have your ideas about it. And just curious, Deb, I'm going to put you on the spot. When you hear nutrition, what do you think? Like, what comes to mind?
Well, I think about healthy eating, whole foods, maybe not so much sugar, even though I like it, but more just foods in their natural state. That's what I think about. And nourishing my body so that I feel my best. I have energy. I have that vitality that we need to fulfill our purpose and live our best lives. So I just think of fueling my body when I think of nutrition.
Okay. Well, good, because that's right where we are with with this video. And Deb and I, if you've followed us at all, you know that we talk a lot about small steps creating big change. And it's the things that we do every single day that make a difference. And we have a man that we follow online, Darren Hardy, who talks about, if we saw the long-term effects of like what eating fast food, say a Big Mac and French fries would do to us the first time we ate it, instead of like over decades and decades of eating it, we would never eat it. But we don't see those, and that's a small habit in the scheme of things. It's not a good habit, but it's a small thing. But it what's the word I'm looking for? It's the word I'm looking for, Deb.
Are you looking for the compound effect or
Yeah, like it
compounds over
compounds.
time?
Yes, it compounds over time. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Mm.
So
Yes, I love that point that he makes because we can go for years eating hamburgers and French fries and thinking we're good, nothing happens because we can't see the cumulative effects of that until we have a heart attack or some health crisis, and then we realize, oh, it was over a lot of years. Where he says, if you take your first bite of a Big Mac and fall over dead, or you have a heart attack, you wouldn't keep doing that. But we get in this frame of mind where we think that it's all good, and we must be, even though we have a bad habit, it's not affecting us. We can deceive ourselves that way.
absolutely. Yeah. And so looking at food as medicine, and there's so much science behind all of that. So many people have inflammation in our bodies, and it's manifested in different ways. And the food that we eat totally contributes to that. and if we're following, just a regular standard American diet, which is also called sad, um, we really are being detrimental to our bodies, and don't even
Just the word sad, Melanie. I don't know if I've ever heard it called that.
yes, standard
Wow, that speaks
American diet is
volumes.
sad. Hmm.
Huh.
Well, in the health and nutrition field, that's exactly what they call it, and it's
Interesting.
yeah. So there's so much information out there that's difficult to discern as well. Eat this because it's really good for you, but don't eat that. And then the next thing that you were told, that the thing that you told was good for you now isn't good for you. And so I think so many of us get frustrated with the whole thing. And that's when we kind of give up and just go, I'm just going to eat whatever I want because it changes anyway. But there are a lot of things that actually don't change, right? If we're eating food in its most natural state, or even steamed vegetables instead of canned, or something like that, steamed fresh vegetables instead of canned, there are differences. And the less packaged food we can eat is better for us too. But it's one of the things that when Deb and I do coaching, it's one of the things that we try to work with our clients, and that is, how do we choose foods that meet that criteria, that also can be made in a way that you want to eat them, because again, this is a lifestyle. This is something that you're looking at forever.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
just oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just thinking when you said that, I was thinking of Brussels sprouts because my husband and I for years were like, ooh, they look like little cabbages. And then one of our friends said, you have to roast them. And then they have kind of a crunch, and we're all into crunch and seasoning. So yeah, we have to find ways to prepare them that we want to, the way we like, or we won't eat them. Just because they're good for us doesn't mean we'll eat them. Now we have them like once a week because we just fell in love with them.
Right.
But,
It does make such a difference. And that's, that's the other thing. Maybe the way that they were prepared when we were growing up is a way that we didn't care for them. So, the more that we can that go back to our community, and that is the more that we can share ideas about, well, hey, did you try them this way, or we like them that way, and we share ideas around it. And as we start looking at different ways and trying different things, it's like, oh, you know what, I really do like those. We were the same way with Brussels sprouts. They were very particular about the way that we like them, but now that we found them and we
mhm,
like them with that crunch, and as you say, different seasonings can make all the difference in the world too. So many of us were brought
mhm,
up with salt,
mhm.
and now it's like, well, watch your salt intake. Well, there's just jillions of other things that we can add to our meals instead of salt,
Mhm.
that actually have a lot more
Yeah.
flavor than the salt. So
Yes, they do. They're really good, and they smell your kitchen up really nice too.
yes,
But yeah, texture's a huge thing. I know Scott, my husband, will not eat peas, and it's the texture of them, and I love them, but nope, he does not. So texture's a huge thing. If you're thinking, I don't like a certain vegetable or a certain fruit, try it in a different form, different state. You might find that you actually really enjoy it.
right, yes. The other thing that, the second thing on here is what to look for. So, manufacturers, they love to put information on the front of the package that tells you how healthy it is, or it's this, or it's gluten free, or it's, and we really need to learn how to read the ingredients on the back and the nutritional information there, because they're made to have the packaging look attractive, and to make us think that we're you know eating better than we do. How many of us have had something that we read on the front was healthy, only to have it turned around and go, oh, maybe that wasn't necessarily what I was looking for. And you have to know what your reason behind it is too. It's a lot of ways to lose weight if that's your goal, but to keep your health in the process, it might look different.
Mhm.
And there's just
And
a
I
bunch
read
of
something,
people.
Melanie. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's
I read somewhere because sometimes the ingredients are a little overwhelming. That if you're not sure if it has like 5 ingredients or less, it's a good choice. That's or like one quick way
Mhm.
to read the back of a box. And right now we're trying not to spend a lot of time in the grocery store too because of COVID. And so if we're looking for a quick, are there some other quick ways to look where we don't have to stand there and read a bunch of ingredients?
Well, again, the less we eat packaged foods probably is a key. And you know, how about, can you pronounce all of the things that you're reading? So if there's a lot of preservatives and things in it that you can't even pronounce, the way I look at it is that if I can't pronounce it, my body probably doesn't look at it as food, and so it may not know what to do with it either.
Mm,
We have a lot of foods
interesting.
on the shelf that have no nutritional value and really aren't considered by our body food. So our body has to recognize it as well. And when we have all these chemical things in it, and preservatives, and even I my own personal opinion is modified foods, our bodies just don't really know what to do with them. And then that's when we get a lot of garbage built up in the body too, because it doesn't recognize it. So what do I do with it? Because our body's pretty smart.
Hmm.
They're really we our bodies are smart. They just are. Our cells know exactly what to do with this and not with that. But when we're giving it things that it doesn't recognize, maybe not so much. I just want to share here about the recipes because we talked a little bit about our free newsletter in the other videos as well. And we do share a new recipe every month too. So if you're interested in being part of that and getting on the free newsletter list, please let us know. It comes out monthly and we'd be happy to add your email address to it. And then just wanted to go into a few of the foods that, we're always talking about things that we need to lessen from our diet. But how about if we can just add more good things in? Deb and I are big fans of adding instead of feeling like we're subtracting, because it just feels like when we say we can't have things that it's depriving.
Right. That's
So,
what we want then.
yeah,
We say we can't have
absolutely.
some, that's
Yes.
exactly what we want.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting because we were on a call the other night and talking about like legumes, and somebody was like, well, what's a legume? You know, so chickpeas, lentils are really, and beans and things like that. They're just so good for us. They have a lot of fiber and protein to them a lot of times, and so just try them. Like maybe add it a little bit and see what you think of it. I'm going back to the chickpeas because the person that we were talking to had never heard of a chickpea, and she goes, how is it that I've lived to be this age and I've never heard of a chickpea? But if it's not something that you were introduced to somewhere along the line, you might not have any idea. And there's a lot of ways to use those too. So, and that's what your hummus is made of. If you're a hummus fan like I am. You look like you wanted to add something. I just didn't want to take it away from you.
Oh, no, I was just thinking about the chickpeas because that's something I found as I got older. I don't remember growing up with chickpeas, but anyway, that's something I wasn't always familiar with either. And again, the texture, it depends on the texture. So hummus I like better than just chickpeas out of a can, or are they in a can? Anyway, I like it in hummus.
Interesting. Yeah, and there's a recipe that I tried once for a roasted chickpea, and that was really good too because you put seasoning on it and then you roasted it in the oven until it became crunchy. So it changed the texture there too, and it was really yummy. And for the most part, you got the benefits of the
That
chickpea
sounds
if
good.
you had the flavor of whatever the seasoning was that you were using. So it was really good.
Oh,
And
that sounds good.
they are. So
No,
we'll have to share that in the newsletter. I actually was thinking that after our last conversation, we should share that one.
yeah,
Yeah. And I'm
absolutely.
sure
Sounds good.
everybody knows about dark leafy green vegetables, right? Like everybody's always talking about, your spinach and your kale. Again, sometimes it's the texture, right? So that's where the smoothies come into play. And I know you make smoothies more often than I do, Deb.
We do. Scott does, and then we share them. But and you don't even taste the spinach, and you kind of think like, ooh, but we don't taste the spinach. We throw kale and spinach, and usually if we throw like blueberries, it'll taste like blueberry. It doesn't taste. We don't taste the veggies. And I have a friend who will just puree spinach, and she throws it in all kinds of stuff, spaghetti sauce and tomato sauce and chili, and her family never notices because they're not huge spinach fans. So that's a great way to get our veggies in other things and we don't even notice them.
It's a great trick because you're getting all the nutrients and everything. And as you say, when you put it with other things, a lot of times I know from my kids, like when we were having spinach, like I just eat spinach just because I like spinach, but you're eating leaves or you're eating grass or like it doesn't look appealing to them. And even sometimes the smoothies, right? Why are you drinking that green drink? But they don't realize how tasty it really can be. Put pineapple in it, I guarantee you that's what you taste.
You can put chocolate protein powder in it too, and it tastes like a chocolate shake.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit different. I mean, but really it tastes chocolatey. So I like chocolate. I'll throw chocolate in anything.
Absolutely. And then the nuts, they're packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals, and they also are heart healthy with unsaturated fats. So again, you do have to watch how many you're eating, but most of us would not sit and just eat nuts and nuts and nuts like we would like a potato chip.
Mhm.
So, you are getting the healthy fats and everything in there. Olive oil to be used as a dressing, and the steel cut oats are really good as well. They can help lower cholesterol. There's just a lot of really important information out there at this point, and again, it's one of those things that Deb and I like to talk to you if we're doing coaching and find out like what you like and how we can start incorporating more and more of these things. Blueberries are fabulous, and they have antioxidants in them that have been just proven to be amazing. And as you say, if you don't like, sometimes I don't like the texture of blueberries. It depends on their ripeness. But again, if you're putting it in a smoothie or a shake or something like that, or even mixing them in with other things, the texture is just a little bit different. And barley is
Raspberries are that way for me.
yes, because of the seeds.
The little seeds.
Hmm.
But if I blend them in, I love the taste of them. And if I blend them in something, I don't notice. So really any berries are good. Strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries. So good for us. Yeah.
Hmm. And in the blue zones, a lot of the things that they eat, they will add the fruits and the papayas and the pineapples, bananas, strawberries, and that's where they get their sweet treats from. So, it's something to be said for that too. If we
Hmm.
can look for our sweets in a more natural.
Right. And I have a friend who throws fruit. All her salads have some kind of fruit. So she'll take a spinach salad and she'll throw strawberries or pears, or she just throws fruit in it. And then you have a good fruit and veggie combo, healthy, packed with good stuff.
Yeah, I have a friend that is just so anti, she can't imagine putting fruit in with lettuce. And I'm like, but you need to try it because it's amazing what a different, it just changes the entire salad when you throw fruits or
Hmm.
nuts or even different kinds of, whether it's salmon or chicken or, something along those lines. You can make your salads so interesting just by adding different elements to it.
Hmm. We can. We often think of salad in a bag and we, throw it in a bowl and like, but yeah, like Melanie said, yeah, like you said, all kinds of fruits, and we use dried fruits. We use dried cherries and nuts and all kinds of things. I know with dried fruits probably have to be a little more careful. So we don't use a lot of that, but it changes up our salad. So it's not always just the same old boring salad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think about when we were growing up, salad was iceberg lettuce, right? And maybe some tomato and cucumber, maybe.
Mom called it honeymoon salad, lettuce alone. That's what she called it.
Remember that. That's funny.
Honeymoon salad. Yep, that's what she always called it. Lettuce alone.
I like that. I wouldn't like my salad
Uh-huh.
that way, but that's funny,
That's how we had it though. We had iceberg lettuce with like a bunch of dressing on
right?
it.
And the dressing was it, right? So it's like, and now it's, well, you should only have a little
Mhm.
bit of dressing because that can really just take away all the nutritional value out of your salad if you're just piling
Mhm.
dressing on it. That's funny.
Uh,
And then the last one on there is barley, and it's really good again for cholesterol lowering properties. And it's one of those things that can be kind of added to a lot of different things too. So again, if you're interested in learning more about these and how we can help you incorporate them for yourself, that's where all of our coaching and our small groups and everything that Deb and I do, that's where all that comes into play. So if you're interested, please reach out. The free newsletter, we would love to have you as part of the community there. And again, that tells everything that's going on within each month and what you can plug into, whatever, is interesting to you. And you'll get some free recipes and meet other people, not so much through the newsletter, but through the transition to a Sprightly Life group on Facebook. It's a private group so that the people that are in it are all on this journey with you. It's different than just having everything out to the public. So it's much more just the small community that we have. And group coaching, we're happy to talk to you and set up a consultation. Deb mentioned in one of the other videos about how we schedule just the free consult to see whether what we're offering is a fit for you, and we do that with the one-on-one coaching as well. Last thoughts, Deb?
No, just, join our community. It's hard to journey alone and try to figure all these things out. And we have each other, but we also know we need other people to help us on our journey also and give us ideas that we haven't thought about. So we talked a lot about preparing foods and different ways to do that. And it's just fun to hear how all of you do that and some fun new recipes to try or new fruits and veggies that we haven't tried. There's such a variety and we tend to eat the same ones all the time. So Melanie talked about that rainbow, trying to get all the colors in there, and we're not talking about Skittles. Right, Millie? So yeah, so join us. We would love to have you, and that's all I can think of.
All right. Well, we will see you on the next video, and we hope all of you are well, and we will see you soon. Bye.